Well, footy season is over. Galaxsi footy. Kind of on a bit of a hiatus at the moment, so I need some sort of new fixation. So, I know. I'll jump into Yu-Gi-Oh! And see what's going on there. Where the hell is everybody? Well, okay, well let me check the latest episode and see what's going on. I mean, it doesn't look too bad. It looks really well animated. It has its interesting points. How long is the 7 minutes? Okay, well, I'll just wait for the next episode and see. Oh, it's a month long. Oh boy. So yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! Not as popular as it used to be. And I figured this, so I decided to jump on the games and see how those are going. Master Duel is quite steady at around 15,000 players versus Duel Links, which is only pulling in around 2,500. Though that's still some solid fan base, it's not very big. I even checked out some of the views on YouTube from the top Yu-Gi-Tubers, and they are not hitting the numbers as they used to, even with some of them being innovated and high production. I will say though, the content is still fantastic. Let me list some people that I still watch. You got Dylan from Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything, Ruggles, Simo, Barfa, and that's all I've been into, really. That's just my circle, though. I know MBT just dropped a how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Video that is about an hour long. How did he get that under an hour is beyond me, I don't even know. And DZeef is still around, and I still see the occasional DP Yu-Gi-Oh! Nowadays. But there's no doubt about it. The franchise is not in the best state and is definitely different to what it was 3 or 4 years ago. So I had a look at what Konami have been doing with the franchise, and I've honestly found the problem. And that's why I'm here today. Hey, and welcome back to the channel. It's been a while, hasn't it? But I thought I would jump on and tell you what I think is the main problem with the Yu-Gi-Oh! Franchise and what we need to fix it. If you enjoy content like this, be sure to subscribe. And also, I stream on Twitch occasionally, so why don't you go and follow me on there? Because, I don't know, I stream stuff. So let's get into it, shall we? Let's get to dueling. So the first question a lot of people might be asking as soon as they see this video, is the franchise dying? Well, short answer is no, but the long answer is not very hopeful. Honestly, the popularity of the card game is much lower than it was 3 or 4 years ago. Heck, I even went into a card shop and I asked them if they had any Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and they asked me, what's a Yu-Gi-Oh?
What? No way!
Yeah, that wasn't a very good feeling. Personally, I've been trying to get back into the card game, but I've honestly been finding it very hard. It might be because I don't have as much time to create decks as I used to, and this is probably because I'm a grown adult and need to work for money, or I'm just too tired to focus. Or I've just had interest change so much that Yu-Gi-Oh! Just doesn't appeal to me anymore. Or the sadder one, I'm growing old. Been having that thought a lot lately. Luckily, I was able to find a few locals, but honestly I would be lying in saying they were easy to find. I'm lucky now that I'm able to drive, and my closest was about 15 minutes away. But like, if I didn't drive, which most of the target group for this card game can't, I'd be screwed and stuck with playing Duel Links or Master Duel. The good thing is, Konami, the people who make the card game, do put effort into both Duel Links and Master Duel. And though I think the effort for Master Duel is paying off, I feel like the effort in Duel Links is just using nostalgia to sell it. Duel Links' recent big update, the one where they add the new worlds, is going back to Duel Monsters World. The original show, you know, the one with Yugi, Kaiba, Joey. That's basically Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters. They're introducing old characters and adding new skins for Kaiba in his Duelist Kingdom outfit, or Street Yugi. I mean, seriously, what exactly is the difference with this guy? That trend isn't just Duel Links. It extends to pretty much every single thing that Konami is doing, except 1 or 2 cases. For example, at last year's Jump Festa, more on that later, it was announced that Yu-Gi-Oh! GX would be getting a remaster, and new cards would be released that were from that show. Their main series sets during the year, like Blazing Dominion, Doom of Dimensions, and Burst Protocol, all focused on spin-off sets like Jack's Red Dragon Archfiend, Reggie Akaba's Different Dimension Demons, and Revolver's Borrels. Yes, I'm using the Japanese name. For those who are not familiar with the Japanese version, that's Declan and Varus. Also, I just want to point out that Jack Atlas, this guy, actually got a structure deck 2 years ago called the Crimson King. So why is it that 2 years later, we're cycling back to that exact same archetype again? I just don't know, man. I don't know. I won't lie though, not having an anime and seeing the different decks evolve and change that rarely got support has been absolutely amazing. But when you go back to the same deck like 3 or 4 times, to name some examples, Dark Magician, Blue Eyes White Dragon, Heroes, Synchrons, Red Dragon Archfiend, Ignista, just to name a few. Even Speedroids have gotten more support than Performer Bows and Phantom Knights. And honestly, it's really good to see these what ifs. Heck, I feel like it's a good thing that the card game doesn't have the restriction of the anime. But at the same time, you could just make a side pack like deck building packs, or even a duelist pack that have these kind of cards. And even the TCG is following this trend. Actually, this has been pretty common for a while, and honestly, the TCG can actually live with this. Recently, the legendary 5Ds decks were released with Yusei, Archie, and Crow being the focus. That's Synchron's, Rose Dragon, and Blackwings, for those who don't know.
Buy Blackwings.
No, seriously, this is actually a really good product. You should probably buy it. And though you got new cards for Yusei's decks, and there were imports from the Power of Fellow structure deck in the OCG, the other two decks didn't really have much to offer. Yes, you got those super strong staples, but no new Blackwings, no new Rose Dragons. Both of those decks just feel empty compared to Yusei's deck. Now, to Konami's credit, those aren't just the sole products. There have been some Chronicle-focused products too, like the all-foil structure decks, which I'm gonna be real, these are pretty f***ing cool. And just recently, the TCG announced a new product called the Legendary Modern Decks for 2026, which honestly, if it goes after the 5Ds Legendary decks, this could be a really good product. Also, complete side note, and I'm probably not in the know of this, why did Sky Striker not get a Chronicles deck? Considering the first two episodes were Sky Striker focused, I feel like it should get a deck, and I feel like it would sell really well. But besides the Chronicles product, let me just run you through the products for this year. The Bring Darkness had Evil Hero support, also Speedroids, YOLO. Alliance Insight had Ignista. Tactical Tridex. Okay, that focuses on the card game, so no arguments there. Quarter Century Art Collection, all focused on old cards. Maze of Master, Odeon focus set. Justice Hunters, the first pack with no nostalgia stuff. Duel Academy Selection, GX focus. Monster Mayhem, chibi arts of the old cards. Duelist Advance, Zexal. Doom and Dimensions Arc 5. Tactical Tri-Pack, Dark Magician support. And also Hero support too. Power of Fellows, 5Ds. Are you starting to see a trend here? And also, in November, TCG re-released Retro Pack 2. And just to add on to this, TCG have now announced a new product called Rarity Collection 5, and you will not guess what headlines the product. Yeah, pretty much. Do you feel like the Konami are a little over-reliant on the nostalgia factor? What even helps that argument even further is that we got a collection of old video games on the Nintendo Switch, which honestly I'm okay with. I found it interesting. But more of that, please. Look, we need a collection for Duelist of the Roses, Falsebound Kingdom, Forbidden Memories, Dawn of the Death Star. Oh, actually, yeah, maybe not that one. But why is this a problem? But with this central focus on nostalgia to sell the product over innovation and growth, I feel like the franchise is honestly starting to become a little stale, if I'm being real. Thing is, this does work for the TCG, as the primary market for what most people refer to as the West do really enjoy the original show and a couple of the spin-offs. But why is this a problem? Let me put it in perspective for you. We have had no new rule changes to the card game since 2020. Link summoning, introduced in 2017, is the most recent summoning mechanic. The last episode of a weekly Yu-Gi-Oh anime was March of 2025 this year, which focused on Rush Duel. And the last episode to focus on the original card game was in September of 2019 when Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains added. And here's another concerning factor about all of this. This is starting to leak into Rush Duel too. There are very early signs which have been a bit alarming to me. I love Rush Duel. I still don't understand to this day as to why this format of the card game has not made it to the West and instead only available on Duel Links or Edo Pro. It baffles me. But why am I so concerned? Because the recent sets are starting to introduce archetypes from the older game, as well as focus on the old shows for the Rush Duel animes. I didn't mention Rush products earlier because I wanted to keep the OCG and TCG focused, but as I started looking more into it, I kind of just want to show you some of the products that they're focusing on. Galactica of Eternity. Go Rush focus, but that's fine because Go Rush was going at the time. Structure Deck Cybernetic Cyber and Harpy Later Sisters. Oh, here we go. Structure Deck Black Magic Ritual. Devil's Ceremony, which focuses on Zera the Mant. Outerverse of Terror. Go Rush focused, but again, Go Rush finished at this point, so that's okay. And you've got nostalgia stuff in there. Actually, let's go back to Galactica of Eternity. Do you have nostalgia? Yep, I thought you did. In terms of Yu-Gi-Oh, I feel like innovation at the moment is kind of dead. And I'm gonna be real. There is one way I feel like that they can solve this. We need a new anime. The reason I feel we need a new anime is because it would introduce innovation and change. Introduce something to spice the game up, or introduce a new game entirely. Oh, you already have 2 card games, so why are you gonna introduce a third? Please don't do that, please, come on. How do I put this? Yu-Gi-Oh! Is always seen as a 30-minute long commercial for the card game, right? What is currently selling it at the moment? Surely it can't be Chronicles. I don't feel like it's long enough or frequent enough to keep a card game afloat this long. In addition, having an anime brings in an opportunity to develop on the card game that exists, and look forward to new cards being released in upcoming booster sets. Whether you want to do Rush or Master Duel, it's completely up to you, but just something, okay? There is a lot to this, and I feel like this is probably one of the best ways forward for the Yu-Gi-Oh franchise, because I'm also going to say this upcoming few weeks, probably our last chance. This is where Jump Festa comes in. Now, you've probably heard me say Jump Festa a few times in this video, and you're probably wondering what that is. Jump Festa is basically an anime convention that has all of the shonen animes like Dragon Ball, Naruto, One Piece, and of course, Yu-Gi-Oh! This is also one of the best times for Yu-Gi-Oh! To make their biggest announcements, such as big OCG products, new cards, new shows, new info, you name it. But besides the announcement of Yu-Gi-Oh! Chronicles, we've not had much. Let me quickly catch you up on recent years of Jump Festa, where basically we got announcements for the anime. 2016, we got the announcement of Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains, and that Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 was ending. 2017 and 2018 built on this because Yu-Gi-Oh! Vrains Season 2 and 3 were announced respectively. And then 2019, we got the confirmation that Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s was about to be starting. 2020, or as I like to call it, the crush card virus year, we got the confirmation of Season 2 coming for Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s. And we also got a little teaser for both Master Duel and a new Rush Duel video game that were in the works. In 2021, we got the announcement of Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush and further new features about the new game Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, which would be released 1 month later. 2022 and 2023 built on the announcement of Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush and announced Season 2 and Season 3 respectively. And in 2024, we got nothing. Oh, actually, we did get that GX remaster announcement, but nothing new. I mean, we did get news of Chronicles, but that's it. At this point, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime, the one we grew up during our childhood, teenage and college years, basically dead. Sure, you got Chronicles, but that's only comes out once a month and is only 7 minutes long. Now, you also remember that I said before, this is actually our last chance to potentially get something. Next year is actually a huge year for Yu-Gi-Oh! So this will be the 30th anniversary of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Manga, essentially. And I know this because actually, I was born September 5th of 1996, and obviously I turned 30 next year. Yu-Gi-Oh! Only began 3 weeks later from that. Though this is a big deal, I'm only expecting the nostalgia to ramp up even more. I feel like though we need a new anime. Whether you want to do it weekly or make it seasonal, that's fine. But we need something that innovates and ties itself into the card game. Whether you want to do it for the Master or Rush games, it's up to you. Give us something, okay? Chronicles is great, it can probably survive on its own, but honestly I don't feel like it innovates on the card game. Sure, it gives a backstory to the cards that we play with, but at the same time, we don't actually have anything like showing off the card game itself. And just a complete side note, I was actually in my friend Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything stream yesterday, and they actually announced a Yu-Gi-Oh! 25th anniversary of the anime, and nothing apparently came of it except the GX remaster. So honestly, seeing what that's just brought in, I'm really concerned if I'm being real. I don't know if we're gonna get a new anime. I don't know if we're gonna get a new rule update. I don't know. There is just everything is at play. There is an anime, a movie, a card game update. This is probably the most unknown we are going into Jump Festa, and quite honestly, I feel like Konami are just putting Yu-Gi-Oh! To the side and using nostalgia just to keep it alive, which honestly, nostalgia only works for so long. Oh, wait a damn minute, because honestly, as I finished editing this video, something else came up, and quite honestly, it makes my blood boil. I wasn't going to talk about this because I thought it might come off a little controversial, and I thought they kind of learnt their lesson. But no, they didn't, because now it seems like Konami is utilizing AI for their content. First of all, I'll admit that I use AI in my day-to-day. I even want to make a video about the usage of AI across the industries and when it's both acceptable and unacceptable. But I'm just going to tell you up front right now, the usage of AI with Konami, it's bloody unacceptable. So just for a bit of background, Konami actually recently started re-releasing the Chronicles episodes on their YouTube channels, the English ones. And honestly, I would have been okay if they re-released it with a Japanese audio with some subtitles. That's fine, but that's not what they did. But they have it. It is now auto-dubbed to English by YouTube's auto-dubbing system. What the actual fuck are you doing? Look, you're not just hurting the fans by doing that, you're hurting the voice actors you've built up over the years. You have a roster of talented voice actors you can contact, and you decide to go, yeah, we'll just use AI. You legit made a show about the warnings of AI in the real world. It gets very concerning when you look at the pattern. AI duelists and AI commentary in Master Duel, auto-dubbing in Chronicles using YouTube's auto-dub,
A weapon given power. Die. Oh, I'm.
and even getting AI to run a social media account. The official Yu-Gi-Oh account, I might add. Honestly, I wasn't going to talk about this, but this honestly made me very angry. Not only does this come off as really lazy, but it generally is hurtful towards both us, the fans, and the people that work for your freaking shows. Be better, Konami. For real, for real. I'm not saying ditch the nostalgia factor at all. In fact, you can keep it. But it's time for something new, and it's time for a change. Please, Konami, give us a new anime. And stop using AI. But until then, I'll keep watching Chronicles, watching Yu-Gi-Tubers, playing Master Duel, and maybe even Duel Links. But I will say, unless we get something new soon, my interest in this franchise is slowly diminishing. So what did you think? Leave a comment down below with your thoughts and like the video if you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.